Malliotakis represents New York's 11th district, and she is one of the young Republican women who swept into Congress last year. And it sure looks like there could be another wave coming in November. Congresswoman Malliotakis says that facts are facts. Gas prices have doubled since President Biden took office. President Biden's anti-American energy policies are to blame. But Republicans, well, they actually have some solutions to fix it. Would you please welcome back to the show Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis. Congresswoman, you've been on our show, but I think this is the first time in studio.
You know what? This is my first time in front of a live studio audience as well, so thank you for having me here.
They're going to be nice to you. Well, there's nothing like being able to see the people that appreciate what you do, because I know that sometimes when you're in Congress, it's not like you're walking around in a city that loves conservative Republicans very much, right?
You mean New York or Washington?
Well, either one of them, come to think of it. Yeah, you represent New York, so you are an endangered species in every way, aren't you?
I am. Well, there's 12 members of Congress from New York City. I'm the only Republican out of the 12. We've got AOC. We may have Bill de Blasio next year, depending on how things work out this year's election. But I took this seat from a Democrat, and the reality is the people in my district don't believe what the rest of New York City believes. They want someone who's going to be fighting for lower taxes, for more affordable quality of life, that's going to really resolve some of these energy issues. And the Republicans, as I said, we do have solutions. A lot of them is just undoing what this president has done, quite frankly.
I think that there's real hope for that. Last night, or this week, on I guess Thursday night was the first night of the televised hearings. They're doing them in prime time. It's clearly a highly produced television show. Do you think the American people honestly care about the president who hasn't been in office in 17 months and this investigation that they're putting together with tightly edited videos?
I'll say that I think the American people, what they really care about is why it's so expensive to live in this country right now, with food prices soaring, gas prices soaring, the fact that shelter is soaring, everything because of what the Democrats have done. And this is clearly a distraction. And remember what they did when they tried to impeach President Trump. What happened? They weren't paying attention to our adversaries, and China unleashed a virus on the world. The same thing's happening here. This is a distraction instead of facing the real issues that we need to resolve as a nation. And Nancy Pelosi won't bring anything up that actually deals with what the American people want them to deal with, which is to address inflation, address the supply chain. And that's unfortunate because, like I said, when we flip the House, we're going to have some serious proposals out there. And I think that you're going to be very pleased with at least what the Republicans in the House will be doing. I can't say, what's going to happen in the Senate and the White House.
This week was also a very potentially tragic week. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, an attempted assassination on his life. Guy comes from California with a gun, a knife, zip ties, pepper spray, intentionally going to Brett Kavanaugh's house to murder him. The Senate, to their credit, unanimously passed, which they don't hardly pass anything unanimously, but Democrats and Republicans actually came together, passed a bill that would give Supreme Court justices the same security that members of Congress get, including Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi won't bring it up and said, oh, everybody will be okay over the weekend. Why won't she bring up something that should be without any controversy?
Yeah, it should have been done immediately. If it's a Democrat-appointed justice, I'm sure it would have been. But that's the double standard. That's the hypocrisy that we're dealing with each and every day. Nancy Pelosi walks around with her own police detail. And guess what? So does Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who wants to defund the police. And so it's the, see how they want to enforce some laws, they don't want to enforce other laws, they want to protect some people, they don't want people to have police in their own communities. They're looking to cut funding from our police officers, like in New York City. Yet they walk around with their own police detail. And I don't know why she would not bring that bill up for a vote. I mean, it really is a threat, but it also goes back to why it's so serious that we investigate the breach of the Supreme Court. How come that's not a hearing that we're having right now? See, the things that the American people...
Yeah. Very good point. Great point.
just like the failed withdrawal of Afghanistan, with 13 American service members were killed. Just like our tax dollars going to the Wuhan lab.
Yeah.
How come these are not the things that they want to hold hearings on? Because I believe that's what the American people want to know. They want answers to that, right?
Absolutely.
What about Hunter Biden's laptop and his relationship with some of these foreign countries? That's what the American people want answers to.
I know that you are optimistic about flipping the House, putting it in conservative hands this fall, and hopefully the Senate. But you still will have a tough time because the president will veto legislation that you pass. But what will be the benefit if there is a Republican control of the House and Senate, even if it can't be signed by an executive?
Let me say this. The reality is we stopped anti-police measures that they've put in place in New York City, and we've stopped it here to make them national federal laws. They wanted to put the radical election law changes into effect. They wanted to use your taxpayer money to fund political campaigns with a 6-to-1 match. They tried to pass the Build Back Broke agenda, which was a $4.5 trillion spending amnesty for illegal immigrants, higher energy taxes, higher taxes on everyone, as well as doubling the IRS. We stopped all of that from occurring. I think most importantly, we stopped Jerry Nadler's bill when he attempted to pack the Supreme Court. And you know why? Because that is a play out of Hugo Chavez's socialist playbook. That's what he did in Venezuela, packed the court from 20 to 32 justices. I brought up that point. That went viral. All the members started using that point, that reality. Talk about undermining the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court. We were able to stop those things from happening, and we're in the minority. So when we get into control, we'll be able to push back even more, but hopefully we'll be able to put this president on the spot. If we do pass legislation, that he'll have to adopt some measures.
Well, we're thrilled you're here. It's always fun to visit with you. It's so much more fun to have you here in Nashville, and come. We hope you'll do it again. If you want to learn more about what Congresswoman Malliotakis is doing in Congress for the people of New York and all Americans, including you, we're going to connect you. Real simple. Go to Huckabee.tv. We have connections so that you can talk to the Congresswoman and find out more about how she's standing for all of us.